Count them, 17 years against Jesse James Leija. That means, of course, that Leija's 17 years more experience. 2-inch height advantage for Bojado. The arm length advantage, 1 inch, measured from the armpit to the end of the fist, belongs to Leija. They both weighed in a couple pounds over the 140-pound weight limit by contractual agreement. By tonight, Francisco Bojado has put on 16 pounds of hydration to go to 158 unofficially on our HBO scale. Jesse James Leija at 156. Rules of the bout with our unofficial ringside scorer, Harold Letterman.
The Pachito Bojado Jesse James Leija fight is scheduled for 10 rounds, non-title, using the unified rules that you see on your screen. Jim, real quick, the 4 criteria that the judges will use to score each individual round: clean punching, effective aggressiveness, ring generalship, and defense, with a strong emphasis on clean, effective punching. Jim.
All right, thank you, Harold. Here's a good look at Francisco Bojado, graduate of the same high school in Los Angeles, California, that produced Oscar De La Hoya and some other big Mexican-American boxing stars. Began his career with 9 straight victories, and then Larry faced early in his career that first defeat, and that has prompted a lot of changes.
Yeah, he wasn't in shape for a fight against Rubio, and suddenly a fighter who was being groomed to be perhaps another pay-per-view superstar had to go back to the drawing board, which he did with Mayweather. Now that Mayweather isn't here with him, perhaps Bojado is going to learn that when you're out there in the ring, you're really on your own anyway. It's life in the big city, and if it doesn't kill you, it'll make you better.
Bojado will be trained in this fight by one of the hottest trainers in the sport, Buddy McGirt. Of course, it is at this moment a fill-in part-time enterprise, but ultimately perhaps they'll be headed down the road together. And there's a look at his record against Juan Carlos Rubio. Lost the first fight to the counter-punching Rubio, won the second fight when he was much more economical with his own punches and didn't allow Rubio to strike back. And now we wait for Jesse James Leija, who has many experiences in his career as a gatekeeper for young fighters. And when a guy's been in against as many young prospects as Jesse James Leija, he's learned a little bit, we expect, Roy Jones, about how to pressure them and try to take them out of their comfort zone.
Yes, he has. He's learned a great deal about how to pressure them to get them out of their comfort zone, and he's learned how to try to land that one big punch that can change the way they think entirely in a fight.
On the other hand, Larry Merchant, he cuts in virtually every fight, and that could be a factor here.
Well, more so lately than ever, and it's been forever. He says he's been cutting about 40 of his fights. But look, he was a terrific junior lightweight where he beat Azuma Nelson 3 times, just got the decision twice, lost to him once. He was so good that he went on to some of his biggest fights against bigger guys like Shane Mosley and Oscar De La Hoya and Costa Tszyu in this weight division. He's a terrific old pro. He knows what the game is tonight. The game is for him to become a scalp on the belt of a young fighter. He believes that the young fighter really isn't that good.
And if Bojado can legitimately outbox James Leija, that will be quite a feather in the cap for the young fighter as he goes forward in his career. Larry mentioned the experience against Azuma Nelson, one of the greatest fighters of his generation, and of course the 3 losses against larger, stronger Costa Tszyu, Shane Mosley, and Oscar De La Hoya. So with both fighters in the ring, and you see there the veteran trainer Ronnie Shields with Leija. You saw him last week with Juan Diaz as well. Let's go to Michael Buffer for the official introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to Boardwalk Hall, Atlantic City, New Jersey, where tonight, courtesy of Bally's and Caesars Atlantic City, Main Events is proud to present an evening of HBO World Championship Boxing, all bouts sanctioned by the New Jersey State Athletic Control Board Boxing Commissioner Larry Hazzard Sr. This first contest is presented in association with Golden Boy Promotions, and both of the bouts are sponsored by Nemiroff. The 3 judges at ringside scoring this contest will be George Hill, Luis Rivera, John Stewart, And when the bell rings, the man in charge of the action inside the ring, referee Earl Morton. And now, 10 rounds of boxing in the junior welterweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing silver trimmed with black and officially weighing 142 pounds. He's a 2000 Olympian and now has a professional record that stands at 16 victories, including 11 knockouts with only 1 defeat. Damas y caballeros, de Guadalajara, Mexico, Francisco Panchito Bojado. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner, wearing black and officially weighing in at 142 1/4 pounds. He has a professional record of 46 victories, including 19 knockouts, with 6 defeats and 2 bouts even. He is the pride of San Antonio, Texas, the former world champion, Jesse James Leija.
Let's go, Jesse. Let's go, Bojado. Y'all both received the same instruction. I expect you to protect yourself and give me a good, clean break. Touch gloves and good luck. Okay?
Bojado says he has to fight an intelligent fight against the intelligent old pro. But the intelligent thing for him to do is to win early rounds, Jim, because of the tendency of Leija to cut.
Indeed, some think that Leija's strategy will be identical, to try to win the first few rounds, then go forward on the off chance that heads will clash, there'll be an unintentional butt, and whoever's ahead on the scorecard will win. So there's extra drama in these first few rounds, Roy.
Yes, it is, and Leija already understands that, so he's coming out on the attack right away.
And Bojado backs Leija off with a good left hook to the body. Leija very busy early on.
Good fist punches by Bojado early.
His punches make a nice noise. That's why a lot of people thought early on in his career he was going to be an exceptional power puncher. After what happened against Rubio, some of that power has been muffled as he tries to be safer in the ring. There's a good, strong right hand by Leija over the top. Catches Bojado twice more behind the ear with the right hand.
And I wouldn't call it safer, I would say smarter, because you're not going to knock out every opponent. A lot of times these guys get used to knocking guys out, and they face somebody that can take their punch, and now they're somewhere that they've never been before.
Leija said he thought Bojado would be open for his right hand, and he's hit him with 4 in the last 15 seconds.
But Bojado took him very well.
I stop punching. Let him out.
Well, Leija's not a big puncher. Only 19 knockouts in his 46 wins. He has a big heart and a good mind. Leading with the right hand, now Leija, having experienced success over the top and sweeping it. Bojado can, there you go. If he can effectively duck that right hand, he'll get a chance to counter with the left hook to the body.
Yes, he will.
And now he snaps Leija with a right hand to the jaw. That right hand blocked by Bojado's glove. So now he's watching for the lead right.
He's being very smart. He's going to the body, trying to work the old pro down some to make sure that the old pro wears. Bojado, that is.
The high school that both Bojado and Oscar De La Hoya attended in East Los Angeles is Garfield High. Also made famous in the movie Stand and Deliver. about a teacher named Alfredo Escalante.
Which is what's going on here. Two guys delivering. Okay.
And a quick left jab right on the button punctuates the round for Jesse James Leija, who through much of the round was the busier fighter.
You gotta do it. One round at a time, okay? Yeah. Hey, beautiful round. You won that round, okay? Now listen to me. Look. Just the one, brother. Just listen. Don't follow him, okay? You just gotta cut him off now. That's all you have to do is cut him off. Now listen. You're trying to get a slow pace. You gotta pick it up a little bit on him, okay? Now look. He's getting underneath you now, okay? Yeah. Don't pick him up with the uppercuts when you're gonna get underneath you. All right?
Every time he touch you, you counter with something. All right? It's your show, baby. All right, stay relaxed. Very good. Every chance you get, touch that body. Keep cracking him downstairs every chance you get, baby. Very good. Good round. Okay? Just double up on the jabs now. Okay? Keep the jabs.
Here you see Leija landing the overhand right to the jaw, which was a good shot. He caught Bojado backing straight up, but Bojado did make a great adjustment to it.
And you heard the advice of Buddy McGirt, the trainer of Bojado. Go to the body.
Leija threw 54 jabs in the first round en route to launching 88 punches. Way busier. Bojado, according to CompuBox, only fired 26 times. So Panchito used the first round to get a look at what Leija wants to do and now seems to be ready to open up with a little more firepower.
I love the body shots that Bojado is throwing.
And you heard Buddy McGirt say, as Larry pointed out, touch him to the body every chance you get.
Leija fought a very spirited fight against Costa Zoo, who is recognized as the junior welterweight champion, for 3 or 4 rounds before he broke down with an injury to a rib. So this is a long way to go to tell us how much Leija has to offer.
Panchito Bojado in the last couple minutes has had 2 hard left hands to the body and a right cross that landed, and Leija put a glove on the canvas to hold himself up, but the referee's going to say that it was not a knockdown. I think that might have been ruled a knockdown. Don't you think Leija held himself up with his glove?
Yeah, I think he did. He slipped one time, but he did get caught with a good hook that did hurt him real bad.
Yeah, he did slip a little, and that's what the referee saw.
Bojado countering beautifully, and now he's starting to land the right hand freely. A right cross and an uppercut, both scoring there.
Then he spun out after the uppercut, which was beautiful.
Right hand over the top again for Bojado. He's having a terrific second round after having used most of the first round to look at what Leija was doing. These body shots are counting.
Yeah, that was a very good body shot then.
Great double left hook.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ready, bro?
Leija getting up with a matter-of-fact look on his face as if to say, well, there ain't much you can do about that. Bojado with the first left hook at kind of medium speed and then came back and ripped him with the second one.
Yes, he did. He waited and caught Leija between his punches and countered with a left hook.
Now Leija goes back to trying to work the jab, but not with the same resolve as in the first round. You get countered like this, it's bound to make you hesitant. Straight right hand landing for Bojado, and there he busts the left hook right past Leija's guard.
Good body shot by Leija.
Backs Bojado off.
Bojado showing good poise here, not getting overexcited with the knockdown because it's early in the fight, and Leija didn't show that he was seriously hurt.
This is the new Bojado. Did the same thing as last fight with Andre Eason. Knocked him down, stepped back, took a look, remained patient.
Okay? All right, look. Last knockdown, okay? Now look, listen. Relax. Go get that. Listen to me. Okay. Look. You're dropping that head. You're jabbing, but you're dropping your left hand. That's why he caught you with the hook, right? We've been working on
Here in the middle of an exchange, he got caught with a good left hook right there that hurt him real bad. He came right back, and in this area somewhere he slipped for real, so it wasn't a knockdown, I don't think, but it could have been called a knockdown. From a different angle, you see that same left hook that dropped him. Oh, that's the second knockdown. That shot dropped him for real.
So he was given credit for one official knockdown on that.
Yeah, he says
Perfect left hook there.
says to the referee, "Is this a knockdown?"
In that second round, Francisco Bojado remarkably accurate, landing 18 of 27 power shots, according to CompuBox, and a lot of them were counter power shots where he timed Leija perfectly.
And he did the smart thing for a young fighter. Try to catch the older fighter between his punches, and that's when you hit him. That's how he dropped him clean with the second left hook.
All the early body shots, Roy, is that partially based on a theory that the 38-year-old fighter is going to be more susceptible to body punishment?
Partially. And you got to put as much wear and tear on the older fighter as you can if you're smart and you're young and up and coming fighters.
Right hand over the top. Bojado takes Leija's counter shot and comes back with 3 bombs of his own.
Good triple left hook by Bojado.
It appears there's enough of a power difference here that Jesse James Leija just isn't going to be able to trade.
No, he's not going to be able to trade. And the bad problem is he's relaxing after he punches. He's not moving after he punches. He throws a bomb and he's still right there, so Bojado just counters it. Good body shot by Bojado.
Popping the right hand to the body. Leija has tried to come back with some body shots of his own, but Bojado has improved since the first round, blocking Leija's stuff.
Bojado does not have much fear of Leija's power anymore either, I don't think. Good body shot by Leija, though. That may have hurt Bojado.
Left hook to the body.
That may have hurt Bojado.
That was probably the most effective punch Leija's thrown since round 1, and it momentarily froze Bojado and allowed Leija to land 3 or 4 follow-up punches.
Yeah, that definitely hurt Bojado. He's not showing it, but that did hurt him.
Leija is going from throwing overhand rights to the head to shots to the body, which is an adjustment an old pro would make when his opponent has made an adjustment.
Exactly, because Bojado, who was eating those overhand rights for a while in the first round, quickly adjusted with the slipping of the right hand and the counter left hook to the body, and Leija said, I don't want to taste that left hook to the body too often. They trade right hands in the middle of the ring.
No matter how easy it gets, you got to stay focused, Manchito, okay? Don't let them build up no confidence. You got them where you want them, okay? Now listen, keep circling to your
September 18 on HBO pay-per-view. Bernard Hopkins, Oscar De La Hoya. De La Hoya's biggest risk as a professional fighter, taking on the long-time undisputed middleweight champion in what looks on paper to be, by far, the toughest fight of De La Hoya's career.
Double up on the jab, okay? And now when you're hooking, you're pulling up. Okay, he's gonna hook with you. So when you hook, you roll up under his hook. Come on, baby, let's go. All right, you took a round off. Now let's wake up this round. Okay.
And then as soon as he throw that right here, to come back with something. All right? Come on now, baby. Let's go. Let's go to work now. I need some pressure with this, buddy. Your hands high. All right? Let's go to work, baby.
Manchito Bojado with 1 knockdown of Jesse Leija in round 2. It could conceivably have been 2 knockdowns, but only 1 was scored. Now we come to the 4th. Harold Letterman, how do you have it through 3?
Okay, Jim. 2 rounds to 1, 29-27, Panchito Bojado. You got to give him an extra point for the official knockdown in round 2. Jim, the rule is this: if anything except the soles of your shoes touches the canvas, it's an official knockdown. In other words, had Leija spun away and his glove touched the canvas, and Earl Morton saw it, as a result of a clean blow, it would have been a knockdown. Morton didn't see his glove touch, so it wasn't the knockdown.
You did see it, right?
I thought it was a knockdown, Jim.
I agree too.
Yeah, but there was a slip moments before that, and I think that's why the ruling was made.
Our videotape replays were inconclusive as to whether the glove touched the canvas. Bottom line is Bojado has the one knockdown and the scoring edge that goes with it, although the first and third rounds were closer.
High break. Let his arm go. Let his arm
Now we heard Buddy McGirt between rounds saying, just because it's getting easy, you can't lose your focus. And indeed, it does appear that Bojado is not as sharp as he was in the second round.
Well, he's trying to take his time, let Leija wear himself down a little bit, and he's really trying to concentrate on waiting on Leija to throw a left hook because he knows he can catch him between his left hook and hit him with his own left hook first.
There he did. He caught him with and Leija threw the left hook and left the left hand out there, and Bojado came back to the body, and now Leija is trying to trade in return.
If you notice, he also likes to wait. As soon as he feels Leija's power shot, he counters right back because he knows Leija's going to be there.
I stop punching. Let him out.
Because Leija has to set his feet to throw power.
No, it's just once he throws his power shots, he doesn't move his head. See where his head is right now?
Mm-hmm. Leija's straight right hand caught Bojado. Bojado ducks twice and then pounds Leija with a left hook to the body.
Amazingly, there's nothing resembling a cut on Leija here in the fourth round. Usually by this time he's close to being busted up, if not busted up already.
He's fighting his heart out. I must give him credit. He's fighting a great fight here to be 38 years old and fighting this great young sensation like Bojado.
Trying to turn the tide again as he's more active than Bojado here in the fourth round. Bojado with a little mouse emerging under his left eye, so he's the first to mark in the fight.
And I think the body shots from Leija is the only reason he's still around right now.
Okay, yeah, okay, come on. Come on. Come on, now. Okay.
The gentleman on the left there is the great Dick Butkus, one of the dominant players of his era as a linebacker in football. Next to him, his son Matt, who is on the management team of Bojado. Dick Butkus, one of the greatest football players I ever saw.
Number 51 of the Monsters of the Midway, Chicago Bears.
Okay? Come on, baby. Let's put it. Let's be smart in there. You're boxing beautiful, but you're just falling asleep. Okay? Let's wake up now. Come on. Let's go, baby.
Okay? All right, come on, baby. Put your hands up.
4 well-fought rounds so far between Jesse James Leija and Panchito Bojado. CompuBox numbers. Bojado landing 62 out of 149. Very selective compared to Leija, who's thrown almost 300 punches and landed about the same number as Bojado. Hard right hand by Leija.
2 right hands in a row.
Crowd responds. Remember, Leija was painting Bojado with that right hand in the first round, and Bojado adjusted with the left hook to the body. And now he tries to do it again.
Right now, Leija is giving a boxing lesson to Bojado. Bojado seems very confused.
Bajado's waiting for one shot.
Walk it out, walk it out.
He feels like he dropped Leija early, and he can come back and drop him again once he gets him to make a costly mistake.
Yeah, but sometimes you can wait all night for that mistake.
I didn't say that was the right thing to do now. I just said that's what he's doing.
Yep.
Because he's getting caught with some very good punches himself now.
Leija's right hand partially blocked, but part of it landed. And there's a hard right hand to the body by Leija. Bojado pops him upstairs with the right hand, shortening his punches now.
Good body shot.
Well, this is real good work at close quarters. You seldom see two fighters just standing there on a dime.
And keep their own hands and not hold and fight in there like that. You're very right, man.
Very gradually, the tide swings toward Jesse James Leija, who seems to have more answers in an adjustment-type fight.
All right, stop punching. Walk it out. Walk it out. Walk it out.
If Leija can somehow keep up this pace through an entire 10-round fight, Bojado's got quite a challenge on his hands.
Yeah, but Bojado was smart. He go back to the body now because Leija just expended a lot of energy. Good right 1-2 combination by Bojado.
30 seconds left. Now there's a perfectly thrown left hook to the body after he ducked another right hand. And that leaves Leija swinging at air for 3 or 4 punches.
Oh, bring that up. Bring him up.
Bojado fires a perfect left right on the belt line while Earl Morton is saying bring him up. Bring him up, bring him up. He didn't bring him up any too quickly. We're halfway through Francisco Panchito Bojado against Jesse James Leija in the first of our 2 fights this evening. Still to come, Arturo Gatti, boxing's human highlight film. Crowd in the arena responding to the sight of Gatti on the scoreboard above the ring. They are here to root for him, and the place is very nearly full, or as close as we've seen it for any big fight. If you had told us 10 years ago we'd still be covering Arturo Gatti in 2004, we would have thought there's no possible way. Panchito Bojado working for the second time here with trainer Buddy McGirt, after Floyd Mayweather Sr. was unavailable to him for his last fight against Andre Eason because he was working with Oscar De La Hoya to prepare for De La Hoya's fight against Felix Sturm. Now Mayweather Sr. has been unavailable to Bojado as he gets ready to work with De La Hoya against Bernard Hopkins, and that's left Bojado twice having to use Buddy McGirt as a fill-in trainer. He thinks that Leija's connection to De La Hoya's promotion company, Golden Boy Promotions, is probably the reason this happened. For his part, Mayweather Sr. says, of course that's not the reason. The reason is I have a full-time contract with Oscar De La Hoya, who's one of the few fighters in the sport who pays enough money to command that you work for him full-time. Or exclusively, at least, when he's fighting.
The way to answer Mayweather for Bojado is to win this fight and go on to a big career.
With Buddy McGirt or some other trainer. Correct.
I'm going to tell you, though, these body shots Leija has been landing have really been taking effect on Bojado. He doesn't want to get hit with the body shots anymore now. If you watch him, he's making a conscious effort to block these body shots now.
Well, and he's backing up more than was the case in rounds 2 and 3 when he was standing in and countering so effectively. Ducking away from the body shots there. Bojado has become a tentative fighter here in round 6, and Leija, as Larry Merchant said, boxing well, suddenly is in command of the fight, or so it appears.
I think it's like Larry said. I think Leija confused him a little, but I know he got his respect with the body shots.
Now Leija picking his spots and pot-shotting Bojado.
It's a good idea from Bojado's view that Leija doesn't bleed now, because he is ahead in this fight. What we mean by that is if a fight is stopped on cuts, it would go to the scorecards, of course.
Now Bojado seems to realize the need to do more and jab in multiples and trying to rip Jesse James Leija with right hands. When Bojado goes on the offensive, Leija isn't able to fire quite so freely.
So amazing. Early, Bojado was landing the sneak right lead. Now Leija is landing a sneak right lead. Good
left hook upstairs by Bojado. Bojado. Tries to come back to the body, misses wide, and now a perfect combination upstairs. Leija comes back with 3 hard counter shots of his own.
Stop punching, stop punching. Walk it out, walk it out. On the bell.
38-year-old fighter in a lower weight division is not supposed to be fighting the way Jesse James Leija is fighting tonight.
Against a strong, vital 21-year-old guy.
How we feeling? Okay. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath.
September 14 marks the premiere of a very special film from HBO Sports, 9 Innings from Ground Zero. It's a compelling look at the role baseball played in New York following the attacks of 9/11 and revisits the thrilling 7-game World Series between the Yankees and the Diamondbacks.
You're giving too much momentum. Okay? So now you got to back him up now. Okay, you got to back him up. You're giving too much momentum. Back him up with fast combination punches and that jab. Okay? Don't let him come forward. He's getting a little too cocky, so you got to slow him down.
Okay. Do is stay busy with this guy. Do not let this man rest. You understand? Give me some head movement. I need head movement. Head movement and head movement. That's all I need. Right, Jay. Keep moving right. Let's go, baby. Come on.
I think the sense of what Buddy McGirt is advising Bojado is to revert to what he used to be. Move forward and start throwing some punches, son.
Here's a revealing stat. Average punches per round through the 6th. CompuBox finding Bojado averaging 36 thrown punches per round. Leija averaging a nice, neat 72. In other words, doubling Bojado's punch output. Harold, how do you have it through 6?
Okay, Jim. 57-56, 4 rounds to 2. Jesse James Leija. Jim, he's winning this fight on pressure and clean punching. Jim, I want to clarify something that we've been saying. If this fight gets stopped by a cut, and that cut is caused by a clean blow, the guy who gets cut loses by a TKO, a technical knockout. It's that simple. If the cut is caused by an accidental headbutt, then we go to the scorecards.
Thank you, Harold, for that clarification.
And still, as we come back to the action, Leija's throwing, Bojado's not. Bojado fights back with 1 counter left hook, and they're right to the body. But basically, Jesse James Leija has been more or less landing at will, Roy.
Yes, he has. Bojado is waiting on him too much, giving the old veteran too much room. But that happened because of the body shots, the respect from the body shots.
You know, we talk so much in other sports about momentum. One of the things that's happened here is that Bojado kind of let Leija out of the Cracker Jack box. It's going to be hard to get him back in.
Yes, it is.
Incidentally, I have Leija further ahead than Harold Letterman does. I haven't been able to give a full round to Bojado except the one in which he scored a knockdown. I scored 1 other round of draw. Even.
And of course, the official scorers.
Good body shots.
One from Pennsylvania, one from New York, one from New Jersey. Leija getting opportunities and banging Bojado against the ropes. And the old man is taking over the fight. See if that left hook will back him off. No. Bojado not nearly as much sting in his punches as was the case in the earlier rounds.
I thought he buckled one time and was ready to go, but taking some fierce punches.
Hard right hand by Leija. Ripping Bojado against the ropes, and Panchito not moving with his feet at all.
And if he doesn't start punching back, he'll be moving to his corner with a defeat.
He's trying to land one big shot to get a knockout here, trust me.
Double left hook by Bojado downstairs and upstairs. As the bell sounds, Bojado finally lands his best punch of the round, but there were moments there when you wondered whether Bojado would survive.
You know where he's going when you get on those ropes. Yeah. So, okay, so stay low, okay? But you got to punch in combinations. Give me the water, please, water. You got to punch in combinations, baby. You throw 1 shot at a time. You hit him with a double hook, he goes back. When you throw, he's going to come back with something. After you punch, get out of there. Come on, let's back him up now, baby. Come on.
Okay? I need combinations. You gotta have combinations for me, okay? Look, see when you do it. Boom, 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 boom. Look, you can do that, but you You're not throwing hard punches. You're resting now. You understand? Look, keep his butt there and keep hitting him in the body. But I want the body and then the uppercut. But you got to keep them hands high. He's fighting his first, okay? He has nothing left, so you got to fight his first.
A nearly full house in Boardwalk Hall in Atlantic City. They're here for the excitement of Arturo Gatti and Leonard Doreen. They're getting a bonus. Jesse James Leija thrilling the crowd with a stirring performance against 21-year-old Francisco Panchito Bojado. Bojado, rising prospect, expected to go through Leija, 38-year-old gatekeeper. Right now it is the San Antonio-based Leija who's controlling the fight. Round 8 of a scheduled 10.
Now I think he's controlling it in a big way, mainly with the jab. That was a good right hand. But the jab and the body shots have been very effective for Leija tonight.
He's been very accurate, increasingly so, as the fight has gone on, particularly with the right hand. Bojado has had some big left hooks, including one that floored Leija in the second round. But since that time, has been probably too economical in his punch output. You heard Buddy McGirt asking for combinations, and you also heard him ask Bojado to try to back Leija up. He's been asking for that for 2 or 3 rounds, and Bojado hadn't been able to do it.
He can't, he just wasn't exerting himself. He can back Leija up. He's a bigger puncher than Leija. Now he's starting back to counter like he was doing earlier in the fight.
I think at the very least he has to win these last 3 rounds to win the fight.
Hard right hand to the body. Still Bojado throws 1 punch at a time, however. Now there's a left-right left. 4-punch combination for Bojado, who begins to show more life here in the 8th round.
Some of the steam is going out of Leija's punches now.
The 8th so far has been Bojado's round. Can it be the beginning of a big comeback?
When he does box, Leija is at his mercy. Good body shots.
Leija lands a right-hand counter. Bojado's punch partially blocked by Leija's elbow there.
Leija needs to land another good body shot himself.
Bojado thinks he can counter off the ropes. Leija isn't giving him much of a chance. There's a good combination by Bojado. I think he'd be wise to stay away from the ropes. In these last 3 rounds, Leija's grown increasingly confident whenever he has Bojado backed up against the ropes. Earlier we showed you Arturo Gatti in his dressing room. Here's Leonard Doreen. Doreen preparing those rapid-fire combinations. Try to go to war against Arturo Gatti. Gatti will want to box. What can Doreen do?
This morning, Jim, I saw Leonard Doreen walking on the boardwalk with his wife Monica, hand in hand, like a tourist on a weekend in Atlantic City.
Very little pressure on Doreen here. It might have been different had they fought, as many had expected, in Montreal, where both Doreen and Gatti have lived.
Jesse James Leija, when he fought Costa Zoo in Australia, was shorted $150,000 by the promoter of Costa Zoo. He went to court and got a ruling in his favor, but he hasn't collected yet. He's collecting tonight, the purse over $200,000, and if he wins, there will be more.
Roy Jones, are you startled by the energy of the 38-year-old James Leija's performance here tonight?
No, I'm not startled by it. I'm startled by the way that he came in and took over the fight so early. I wasn't expecting him to be able to hang with this young guy in rounds 1 through 3. But he has some of the best experience of any pro boxer out now. He's fought all the great champions. When you faced Azuma Nelson 4 times, you got to have the best experience one could possibly
There
have.
aren't that many Azuma Nelsons out there, that's for sure.
Never has been. Also, he's been in the ring with a lot of guys that were way, way too big for him, like an Oscar De La Hoya and a Shane Mosley.
So Bojado's big punching is nothing new.
It's nothing new, but I mean, it's a problem for him because Bojado dropped him early. But he has been with people that can punch like this before. This is not new to him. It's always a problem.
A problem for Bojado is that Jesse James Leija has won the first half of round number 9. And you heard Larry Merchant say in the last round that it was his opinion Bojado would have to win the last 3 rounds.
And that is a problem then.
And Leija continues to score to the body and continues to out-throw Bojado in terms of volume.
And this is why you don't want to let a veteran fighter hang around and have energy at this point in the fight, because he will outwork you. This is what his plan was.
It's very hard to convince the judges you're winning the fight when the other guy's throwing twice as many punches. But there's a solid left hook by Bojado that may momentarily have stunned Leija.
And there's an answer for the left hook, a left, right, left. A right, left, right, I mean.
Come on, ready? Box.
That left hand moved Leija.
That hurt
They
Leija.
traded left hands, and it was Bojado's that hurt. And now Bojado busts Leija with a combination up top. He's winning the second half of the round. Last 30 seconds will tell the tale. Leija comes back to begin making his statement again.
Leija can't deal with this left hook from Bojado at all. That's what Bojado's been relying on.
There's swelling over the right eye of Jesse James Leija, but still no blood. How many times in his career has Leija taken this much punishment without cutting at all? Not many by his own admission. Hard right hand to punctuate the round. Jesse James Leija. Close round, tough to score.
Hold up, stand up. Give me a deep breath before you sit down. Come on, give me another one. Now listen to me, okay? Look, this is the most important round of your career right here. You understand? Look, you're throwing good punches, but look, you're standing too straight up. You're going to get caught with one of them hooks again.
You shots, and you get him out of there. But you got to keep punching. Let's go, 3 minutes. Drink that, drink it. It's hot in here, drink it. Got to hydrate yourself, baby. Okay, listen to me. Listen, Manchito, you got to go out and you got to get this round. Okay? You got to take it. Don't take a backward step. Okay?
Don't let this guy just beat you with first. You understand? Look, push him on his heels. James, you got to do something for me, though. You got to stay down low. You coming up.
Work too hard. You understand me? Drink that. Drink it. Drink it. Drink this. Drink it. You got to drink it, baby. It's too hot. Let's go.
2 excellent trainers offering good advice. At least one fighter. James Leija, very capable of listening.
Jim, we gave the promoter Main Events a lot of credit last week for stepping up in some dangerous fights with their young fighters. They won all 3. Their winning streak is in serious jeopardy right now.
In the 9th round, CompuBox found Leija throwing 81 and landing 23. Found Bojado throwing 59 and landing 17. Bojado had the harder shots. That round could have gone either way.
Right.
The thing I like that Randy Shields did tell Leija was get your head down after you punch. That's what I was talking about earlier in the fight. Right there like that. Bojado is an excellent counter puncher. You can't hit him with a good punch and stay right there for him.
You heard McGirt telling Bojado, don't take a backward step. Panchito has tried to follow that dictum here in the 10th.
I got you. Walk it out.
Hard right hand by Bojado. Trying to get in one more big left hook.
Oh, good shot.
Leija landing in return as Bojado focuses on offense and allows himself to get hit.
It's interesting that Leija is not sitting on what he thinks or we think is a lead. He's going out to win. We have to remind you that promoter, manager all come from this area. So you got to go out there and take it.
Other thing I like is that he's doing exactly what Randy Shields told him. He's staying low. He hasn't got caught in any big left hooks this round because he's been staying low.
Judges are George Hill of Pennsylvania, Luis Rivera of New York, John Stewart of New Jersey.
Oh, good combination by Leija.
Left hook to the body, straight right hand upstairs.
That was a veteran move.
Bojado double left hook.
Stop. Don't grab him. Walk it out. Walk it out. Walk it out.
Leija's right eye beginning to swell up a little bit like the Hasim Rahman gargoyle against Evander Holyfield here a couple of years ago.
Oh, good shot.
Leija landing right hands in return, painting Panchito Bojado with three big right hands.
This is one of the best performances we've seen from Leija for quite some time.
10 years?
Forever.
Of course, Bojado has not proved himself as a serious fighter.
Bojado's bleeding from the nose now, I think, from those right hands.
Well, his left hook has certainly made an impression on Jesse James Leija's right eye, but it may be too late for Bojado to use that to score a victory here because Leija fires down the stretch and gives as good as he gets all the way to the bell.
A very good fight. The old pro seems to have beaten up the young pro.
Could be close.
Probably closer than we think.
Harold, how'd you score it?
I got it close. Okay, Jim. 95-94. Actually, 5 rounds apiece, but the knockdown gives him that 1-point victory. 95-94, Panchito Bojado. Jim, I gotta tell you something. I thought the kid really finished stronger. His punches seemed to have more zip in rounds 8, 9, and 10. He stayed the heck off the ropes, gave himself a little bit of room to get some leverage on the left hook. I thought he landed the harder shots. Jesse James Leija, I thought, grabbed 4 rounds in a row, 4, 5, 6, and 7, to take the lead, but Bojado finished stronger. I think he won the fight by 1 point.
Well, Harold, one of us is right.
And one of you will be wrong because you have...
I have Jesse James Leija winning the fight clearly.
Leija's punch output, according to CompuBox, in the 10th round of 87 punches was his highest in the fight. You heard Letterman saying that he thought Bojado landed the higher quality blows down the stretch. Be interesting to see where the judges go because, in my estimation, Leija threw more and landed more down the stretch. Here's a look at who the judges are. It wasn't very difficult to score Hopkins Vanderpool. It wasn't very difficult to score Jones Telesco. This one was an interesting call. And it was Stewart who scored the fight 115-110 for Pacquiao, who was going forward the whole time, as opposed to the French judge who scored it 115-110 for Marquez, who was counterpunching the whole time. And now let's go to Michael Buffer and see how they scored this one.
Ladies and gentlemen, courtesy of Bally's and Caesars Atlantic City, we go to the scorecards. Luis Rivera scores at 95-94 for Bojado. John Stewart, 96-93 for Leija. And George Hill scores the bout 95-94 to the winner by split decision from San Antonio, Texas, Jesse James Leija.
Split decision win for Leija. Second loss of Panchito Bojado's career. Not by any means a career destroyer because he was in against a tough opponent who came up with a spectacular effort. And let's see what kind of a learning experience it becomes for Panchito as as Leija, who might conceivably had retired if he hadn't been able to make it through this fight in good shape, is now going to get some more opportunities in a weight class loaded with talent.
And he deserves some more opportunities. He looked real good in this fight. He came in very good shape. He showed that all those years of experience can pay off. I mean, he's taking very good care of himself. I'm sure he doesn't do have any bad habits, so he can continue to go on like this.
Let's take a look at CompuBox numbers, and you'll see that Jesse James Leija won the fight on the scorecards partially by being way busier than Panchito Bojado. Look at that. 324 more punches thrown, according to CompuBox. Landing only 38 more, but when one guy is throwing that many more punches, it's hard for the judges to keep their eyes off of him. Power punches, and this is where Leija did some spectacular work, particularly in the first round and then down the stretch of the fight with that overhand right, which Bojado never really completely solved. Larry Merchant, what a tremendous win for Jesse James Leija.
Yeah, and a real good fight. A good win for a great old pro. And Bojado goes way back to the end of the line. If he couldn't cope with Jesse James Leija at 38, then I don't know what the upside of his career could be.
All right. Well, we'll see what happens from this point forward. Meanwhile, let's look ahead to some upcoming